Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jeff. So today I've decided to make a video to answer a question that has come up before, and yeah, it's just come up a couple times. So I was like, you know what? I might as well just answer the question then. And that is why or what led me to Hawaii. You could say, well, that doesn't matter how you phrase it. I'm just going to tell you how I ended up here. So probably in about 2014 or 2013, my friends had moved to the Big Island because another friend of ours from high school had actually bought property and was developing 3 acres into a farm. He did something super ambitious. He went out on a limb and bought a big plot of land when the recession had occurred in one of the most beautiful places you might see on the Big Island in the Hamakua area. My other friends that I was really close with also moved out, and they ended up island hopping a little bit, and they were kind of living out of their car, and told me some stories about that, and I was in contact with them, and then they told me that something amazing had happened. They got called to Molokai. So they went to Molokai. Now Molokai, if anyone knows about Molokai, is kind of off the grid, right? So meaning that it's not the most people don't ever go to Molokai. And so they were there, they were camping out basically on a piece of property that they were developing for Hawaiian homelands. Anyway, so I was kind of like, hey, I'm interested in what's going on out there, and they were like, yeah, you should come out. And then I was working, and at that time I had come across some money, but at the same time I'd also come in a funk, like a life funk. You ever had a funk in life where you were just like, man, I just need something needs to change. Like I was really not feeling too clarity. I didn't have a lot of clairvoyance or clarity. I was just like, man, what is going on, dude? Like I can't keep living here in San Diego because this is just more of the same, and I was starting to get pent up over there. So as they had moved here, they had been here for 6 months. I watched the hurricane come through in I think it was summer of 2014. Yeah. And my funk just never went away. So I had applied for paperwork for my dog to move with me to Hawaii. And yeah, so we made that move. We ended up on the Hamakua coast in a bungalow. And I don't know if you watched my other videos, but I told the story about that, how it was a water catchment. The bathroom was detached from the main sleeping area, so I'd have to walk outside in the rain to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night if I needed to do that. Even just waking up or whatever, I mean, in the middle of the night, if you're hungry, the kitchen and the bathroom were also attached. And there was a limited water supply. If we had a drought for a month, the tank might have that much water, so everybody was like, when you shower, make it quick. Or like if it hadn't rained for 2 weeks, everybody'd be like, okay, it hasn't rained, so don't flush the toilet unless you absolutely have to, meaning if it's brown, flush it down, right? So, it was a little bit rough. I did that for like 3 months. I had a married couple that lived in the area next to me. They were really nice, got along with them, and everything was cool. It was definitely off the grid. My dog was still with me, and we used to let him run free. Anyway, then the same person who owned that cottage asked me if I'd like to move to their house down in Puna. So then I moved to their house down in Puna. It's a little bit more established, but it's still water catchment. Same situation. But it rains a lot in Puna. It rains a lot in Hamakua, but when they get a drought, I mean, it lasts a month sometimes. And you have to call the water truck out to fill up your tank. Anyway, so there's also bacteria and stuff. You got to make sure that you're pouring bleach in there like once every week or something like that. No, once a month you got to pour bleach. So it's not what you're used to in public works, okay? And so that was my initiation into the island, was on the Hilo side. Then the person that I was living with asked me if I'd like to go, said when I sold my business, he said, I can watch your house here if you'd like to go travel the world. I did that. It was my birthday. I had just sold my business, and I took it and didn't look back. Meaning I was like, man, I'm still in a funk. Even though I'm in Hawaii, I'm still in a funk. It didn't go away because I just magically moved to Hawaii. A lot of it, I think, had to do with stress anxiety, improper diet, basically not taking care of myself. And also, just some things that I needed to really clean up in my life, kind of like clean out my closet. Because I was 30, yeah, I was 30 or 31 at the time. So, when you turn 30, things kind of just shift, whether you like it or not. Life, I don't know, it happens at different times for everyone. For me, it was like 30, 31. I'm now 34, so come a long way since then and now, but at the same time I haven't really come a long ways. I've just made some minor adjustments. So I went on that. I went to Thailand. I went to Macau, which is next to Hong Kong. I went to Thailand a lot. Obviously, I went back. So I went there a couple times on this trip. Then I went to, stayed like overnight in Singapore. Went to Australia, then New Zealand, then back to Thailand, because yes, I like Thailand. Why do I like Thailand? It's like kind of like it's a very free, I guess you could say it's a hedonist society. Hedonist is you do what pleasures you. It's not that it was kind of what I needed, because I'd been living in a society that was kind of like rules, 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 rules. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. You go to Thailand, it's free. It's literally like kind of like free. Now that doesn't mean you go there and you raise hell and then you're gonna get, because you can't do that either. But I'm just saying that for a Westerner, it's the Thai people are very nice. The food is cool. You will get sick probably, but you just got to come to terms with that. The people are very friendly. The women are friendly. If you're a single guy, you might like that too. Just be careful. For all the women who are watching this thing, ouch, did you just go there? Yeah, I'm going to say that because, in Thailand that does happen. So we're not going to like pretend like things don't happen in Thailand, meaning that yes, there are girls that will hit on men there. Even there's lady boys that will hit on men there. Some people get massages. They're called soapies. It's almost part of the culture. Anyone who's been to Thailand knows about this. So don't get offended, don't get scared. It's called Thailand. But back to Thailand. Beautiful places. I mean, it's paradise. It's cheap. That's the biggest thing, is it's cheap. Also, if you like getting fine clothes, I got this shirt in Thailand a few years ago. I didn't wash it correctly, so that's why it's not in the greatest shape. But I look forward to going back to Thailand, to talking with my tailor in Phuket to do that. Patong Beach. It's called Bangla Road. Pop in place. I mean, I left Bangla Road saying that's probably the biggest party in the world. And that was just a Tuesday, a Wednesday. It doesn't matter. Every night's the biggest party in the world on Bangla Road. I wouldn't be surprised if Bangla Road goes harder than... Well, I've been to Mardi Gras. I mean, Mardi Gras is pretty exciting. I haven't done Carnival, but Bangla Road and Phuket every night. Thailand, baby. It's just a good time. People dance. That's where if you go there, that's where you'll see a lot of the go-go girls. So that's, I guess, one of the areas that I was really exposed to that, to where it's like anyone who goes to Bangla Road sees it's like a strip of go-go's, but it's also bars, and it's right on the beach. So there's also Pattaya Beach and all that, which is up by Bangkok. Bangkok's another one of those places. I like Bangkok because they have trains. You can get around on trains, or you can just hire a tuk-tuk or you get on the back of a scooter and you go around. Anyway, so I go do this. Australia's cool, New Zealand's cool. I come back to Kona. That was a part of it because that was part of my process in getting my sanity back, getting out of the funk. Now, I didn't fully come out of the funk after that trip, so I moved to Kona, which was different than Hilo. I was like, well, if I move to the resort side, I'll get back into regular water supply and power and all that, internet, because over there there's not even AC, just fans, and it gets humid there even in January in Pune and in Hamakua. So I go back to do that. I get a vacation rental. No one really wants to rent because they're all like, show me $10 million. No, just say that facetiously, but they do want a lot of money. Like this place asked me for two months rent plus a deposit. So they said, pay for your first 30 days, your next 30 days, and a deposit. But I just sold my business and I still have money. I said, you know what, I just need to find a place to live, because I was camping for 4 nights around the island. I stayed up in Ho'okena, and I stayed up by Volcano. I camped up in Volcano 2 nights. And after that second night, I was going to go to Spencer's Beach, but I was so done with camping that I was like, whatever you need, you let me know. Let's just get me in a place, because once I get into a place, I can find a better deal. After my 3 months went by, I then got a apartment, which is this place I live in now. It's a condo. I got a 6-month lease. You know, she was cool with it. They treated me nicely when I moved in here. You know, and it was cool. I mean, when I was living in Kona in that other place in that rental on the beach, really, I paid $1,500 a month. I would drink a beer and walk down. Then I'd grab another beer and bump into like locals and stuff, and they showed me around and told me stories, and hung out at Magic Sands a couple times, kind of drunk with the Kona boys. You know, being a haole from the States, you know, you gotta. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, and I would recommend it to everybody, but I'm saying, like, you know, if you're around a whole bunch of locals you don't know and you're drinking, you know, try not to get too drunk. I say that because I did get really drunk because I was having a good time. And anyway, so that was like my, you know, initiation to the crew kind of process, and then getting familiar with Magic Sands Beach, where the locals hang out. And I did that a couple times, and you know, I would hang out with some of the uncles at Banyan's, and every time everyone was cool with me. You know what I mean? They were always very cool with me, and I respect that. And that's why when you see my videos, I'm always like, well, racism, you know. I looked at it like, you know, it didn't really happen to me. You know, it happened maybe a couple times where like a couple guys would give me like a little bit of, you know, like what is it, fuzzy eyeballs, whatever you want to call it. You know, and I just went the opposite direction of those guys. But most of the uncles, you know, uncles, what they call them, uncle and auntie, but the uncles at Bangans were very cool to me that night that I chilled with them. The uncles at Magic's were cool with me every time, yeah. And then, you know, so that was my time on the beach. Living here in Kona now, like some of the things that I do to unwind. I mean, I actually have a place now with AC. If I wanted to use it, it's cool. I'll walk down to Li'i, get in the ocean over there at the pier, chill with the dudes at the pier. This time, those are my crew now, is the pier crew. And you know, it's ever changing. There's dudes who come and go. There's all types of people over there, and always friendly, always, you know. Nothing negative to say, truthfully. I mean, I've gone to a couple events that they've had down there. Obviously, the Kona Ironman, the Hawaiian Billfish Tournament. There's a couple things that take place down there. There's the stroll, various different things. The kayak out there, you can spot dolphins, swim there if you want, snorkel out. It's kind of wild. They get fish balls right there. Go get a coffee at Kona Inn. There's like donkey balls, you know, just stroll up and down, go out for drinks every once in a while, just have a good time. Try not to make too much of a habit of that, but do what you want. I don't, because I'm in school. I can't just party rock like a rock star, you know, 7 days a week, although I'm sure that would be fun. I know that people like to go to the harbor to do that these days. Harbor is like one of the popping spots I've been hearing. But anyway, you know, so Kona's cool. I've definitely come out of my funk now, I can say. You know, I was, like I said, I was in that funk, and a lot of it was stress related. It took about a year or two to, well, as people always say, this heal. I try not to beat up the word heal. I'm over here healing, you know. No, I was more or less just like kind of rediscovering myself into my, you know, 30s. And some of you might be getting called to do that same thing. Just remember, the island, they say some things about the island that are stigmas, that are superstitions. You might hear them. The ones that I've heard, like, is if things come up missing, you know, what have you been doing? You know, like, are you being Pono? Usually things only come up missing if you have not been being Pono. That's what the locals at Magic's will tell you. That's what some other locals will tell you. So if things are coming up missing, if you're the person who's like missing your CDs out of your car, or someone stole your wallet or something like that, usually that's a sign from Hawaii that, like, what have you been doing, bad boy? You know? And so none of that has happened to me, okay? That does not mean that I'm immune to it. So I always keep myself honest and uphold integrity, and it's worked out for me. It's kind of like a formula. It's like a system that you follow. Just be cool. I mean, I can't. If you don't know what "just be cool" means, then probably don't move to Hawaii because it's gonna end up scaring the shit out of you. And I don't cuss much, okay? Um. Anyways, yeah. If you have any questions, let me know.